All right, good day, good afternoon, good morning if you're watching this in the morning time. But however, if you're watching it right now, right now, I'm talking about a few minutes past the top of the hour. If you're on the East Coast, you'll be in the 3 o'clock hour. In Indiana, you'll be in the 2 o'clock hour. However, Yes, I am Larry Brown Jr., the National Director for the NAACP AXO. I'm also joined by one of our local AXO chairs in your state of Indiana, Ms. Gina Payne. She's going to be joining me for a conversation a little bit later in this presentation. Today, we are discussing leading your local AXO. Your board member and state conference president would want all of you, every single unit in the state of Indiana, to be equipped and ready to lead a local AXO unit. Per the bylaws of the association, every executive committee should have a person serving as that AXO chairperson on the executive committee, and that person essentially is deemed responsible for leading the AXO committee for that unit. I invite you, if you're watching us live, to post your questions in the chat. I am monitoring the questions as I'm speaking to you, in addition to scrolling through and giving you the presentation. So we'll answer questions as we move throughout the conversation. And then if anything else arises, you'll have my contact information to reach me afterwards. AXO is the NAACP's Afro-Academic, Cultural, Technological, and Scientific Olympics. That is what the acronym AXO stands for. Again, it's the Afro-Academic, Cultural, Technological, and Scientific Olympics. It's a year-long program that is slated to celebrate the achievement of African-American high school youth all year long. We are here to recruit and stimulate high academic achievement among African-American high school students. The mission of AXO is to prepare, recognize, and reward youth of African descent who exemplify scholastic and artistic excellence. We've got 3 goals under the mission of AXO. The first goal is to mobilize the adult community for the promotion of academic and artistic excellence. We also want to recognize creative talent and academic achievement, and to provide the third goal, provide and assist students with the necessary skills to establish goals and acquire the confidence and training to make a successful contribution to society. So that's why we do the work that we do through the AXO program. That's our mission and that's our goal. For anyone they may have questions or have been wondering, how do I begin, or what's the purpose of why we have this as a part of the work of the overall association? Let's take a look at our founder, Vernon Jarrett. He was born in 1918 and transitioned in 2004. He was a renowned journalist who believed that African-American students deserved to be celebrated like their non-African-American counterparts for more than just athletics. And so he created AXO as the Olympics of the Mind as just a science competition. That competition was first held at the DuSable. He was the chair of the board of directors at the DuSable Museum in Chicago of African-American history. The very first AXO competition was held in 1976, and it was held at the DuSable Museum. After that competition was held in 1976, the following year, 1977, as you can see on our timeline, the DuSable Museum loved the program. It just started as a science competition. They saw and believed that it could grow bigger, and they really wanted to see Mr. Jarrett's vision grow and flourish. Thus, they suggested that the program be given to the NAACP. The NAACP Board of Directors adopted AXO as the premier youth achievement program of the association in 1977. And that following year, there were students from many NAACP units that comprised the inaugural class of the first students added to the roster of AXO champions that have competed in the program. Those students came from units in Atlanta, Baltimore, Chicago, Kansas City, Los Angeles, New Orleans, Philadelphia, and St. Louis. On your screen, there is a photograph of some of the early days of AXO from one of the award ceremony, and then you've got a picture of a little piece of one of the programs that's listed there. AXO is made up of 6 umbrella categories. We have 33 different fields of study in AXO. Within AXO, we've got 6 umbrella categories. Those 6 umbrella categories are represented on the screen. They're business, culinary arts, humanities, performing arts, STEM, and visual arts. Again, there's 6 umbrella categories, and then there are 33 disciplines or 33 fields of study, which eventually mean 33 different competitions that we offer within the program. Let's take a look at what those offerings are. In business, we have our entrepreneurship category. There's a formatting error that just happened on the screen. Then we have culinary arts and hospitality management under our culinary category. One unique thing about the competitions within AXO, the hospitality management category is our only category that is designed is our only official category that's designed for students that are on teams. All the other AXO categories are solo-based competitions. Our following category, we have the humanities. In humanities, we have music composition, original essay, playwriting, poetry written, and short story. For our students in the performing arts, we have offerings, 4 different offerings in dance. We have dance ballet, dance contemporary, dance modern, as well as traditional dance. Then in our dramatic arts category, we have dramatic arts acting. Then we have 4 different competitions or fields of study for music. In our instrumental category, we have vocal music, instrumental vocal, and we have instrumental classical. We also have I meant instrumental classical, instrumental contemporary, not instrumental vocal. Then we have vocal classical and vocal contemporary. I typically know these things by heart, but every now and then I need to go back and make sure I'm listening to myself as I'm articulating my words. Then we have the oratory competition. I'm an AXO alum out of Detroit, competed 2 years when I was in high school, and oratory was my competition. And then rounding out the performing arts is our poetry performance competition. In STEM, we've got 9 competitions. We've got them in architecture, biology, microbiology, chemistry, biochemistry, computer science, earth and space sciences, engineering, mathematics, medicine and health sciences, and physics. And closing out our 6th category, our visual arts, we have competitions in drawing, filmmaking, photography, painting, and sculpture. A little later, we'll take a look at some of our notable alum. You'll get a chance to throw some of the names in the chat and engage with us, but you'll see how many of them got their start through AXO as we take a look at who some of our notable alum are. Before we continue on discussing about engaging your local AXO, I'd like to bring in whom I introduced you to at the top of the conversation. But before we start, I see we do have another visitor that has joined us on this side of the presentation. And I wanted to give her a shout out, Attorney Barbara Bowling Williams, who serves as not just your state conference president and one of our members of the board of directors of the association, but she also serves as the committee chair for the National AXO Committee. So we're very grateful for her representation and her participation, always showing up ready to work and do all the things to carry out the mission and the goals of AXO to help us continue grow and expand the program. Gina, good afternoon. How are you today?
Good afternoon, Larry. I am fine. How are you?
I am great. Here, let's get this off the screen before we go forward and let the people see you. Let's have a brief chat since you're here today to talk about your experience as an AXO chairperson. Let's talk about what it's like being an AXO chairperson. Tell the viewers what that's like for you. And as you're talking about that, I'll give you the starting point. Let's take it from when you first considered volunteering or was voluntold to join your AXO committee, and tell us about all that you've experienced thus far, because you're one of our newer AXO chairs and you've been with us pre-COVID and through COVID, and you've had some successes. So let's start with talking about being a chairperson.
Okay. Exhausting.
In a good way, right?
But very, very fulfilling. It's just awesome to be able to work with students that are so talented. Gary has a city full of talented students, and it's just it's just awesome to be able to work with them, and also their parents and mentors, and just everyone, all of our supporters and everything. But being a chairperson, one of the things that it's just not me. It's a committee. It's like they say, it takes a village to raise a child. Okay, well, it takes a village to be also the chairperson of the AXO program. And I have a lot of individuals, several individuals in my branch and outside of the branch that have been very, very supportive of me being the chairperson. They have told me when I was right, told me when I was wrong, what I did right, what I didn't do right. So, hey, I was there to take it for the good and the bad. But it has been very fulfilling. This is like my second year as a chairperson. I was co-chair 3 years ago when I came on with the program. And that's when we went to Detroit. And that was my first experience with AXO. And it was just so exciting, very exciting. And that year we had a third place winner. And then last year, my first year as AXO chair, we had a gold medalist, Naomi Martin, that won on a local level and on a national level. And that was just crazy. I was so excited about that. And it was just awesome just to be able to push Naomi. And even when she was like, oh, I don't feel like it, I'm like, no, Naomi, you got to keep going, keep going, keep going. And it's just, it took all of us to get her to that point. So it wasn't just me. I want to make that clear. It takes a village. So I have a lot of supporters and all. So it has been awesome. This ride has been awesome.
And you've been talking about the village and all the people that support. And today's presentation is geared around leading your local AXO. And after we wrap with this part of our conversation, we're going to go into engaging those people who make up the committee. But you talked about some of the great things, but I hear that in your voice, there might be some challenges, because you started with, I said, what is it like? And you said exhausting. So people might be wondering, I've heard so much about AXO and I want to get involved, and they're trying to make me do it and they're trying to convince me to do it, but I just don't know if I really know what it takes. Let's have an authentic and a raw conversation about challenges. Tell me about the challenges that you see as an AXO chairperson. There might be some that are watching that may have suggestions or helpful tips, or might have solutions that they can present to you, and also can use as their own when they become an AXO chair for their local unit. Talk about the challenges.
The challenges are, the first challenge is that, is it for you? You have to be passionate about it. You have to be passionate about wanting to work with youth and everyone around that. And so first is passion. You have to have a passion for it. And then another challenge is just making sure that everybody is in place. You got to know everyone has to play a part, because you can't do it by yourself. Everyone has to know what their part is and execute. So kind of like me, I play a part and I execute, but then I have others that are around me that I say, I need you to do this. And they would like, what you want me to do? No, I don't want to tell you how to do it. I just want you to do it and execute it, and then just come back to me and say, okay, this is what I have. I don't want to be always the brain person. I can't be the brain person all the time. So it's awesome to have people that I can say, here, I need your help doing this, or I need your help doing that. Or if it's something that I don't know how to do, I reach out to those individuals and say, hey, I need your help. So you gotta have people around you.
Absolutely. That's that village.
Have people around you that can help you execute the program and push it forward.
Yep. The village has to lean in and really show up and help to do and to move the work, because although there's just the one person who's officially designated to lead the charge of the committee and the work of the committee, we have to have additional adults on hand to be able to help us mount that work, to do the work so that we reach our goals and fulfill our mission. as an entity of the association within ACSO. I'm gonna push pause right here, Gina, because you gave us a bit of a tease. You started talking about some of your wins that you've had, and I want to talk about the national competition. But in order to get to nationals, you got to do the work for nationals, right?
You got to do the work.
You got to do the work for nationals. So let's talk about, I'm going to tell the people how to engage engage the committee for their local act. So we're going to go back to the presentation here.
Okay.
And there are five different ways that you can engage for your local act. So the first is the local branch or youth council. Then you want to consider engaging your local volunteers. You engage local high school youth, then the mentors and coaches, and then you want to begin engaging judges. Engaging on the branch and youth council level, they are the host of any ACSO program. There's a form. Once you, after we finish this presentation, we'll be able to provide this information to you. There is a form called the ACSO Intent Form, the Unit Intent Form. That is the form by which your branch or your youth council will indicate that they will be hosting or sponsoring an ACSO committee for that academic year. ACSO, one note I want to share with you, runs on the academic calendar. And so our year is from August through July. Every August we kick off, and in July we wrap up at the national convention. The local branch and youth council is key to fostering a sense of internal pride and community. It fosters the pride within the association. There are so many different committees within the branches and youth council. There's so much work going on. And ACSO really leans in and shows up to really help to foster that sense of internal pride of your branch or youth council, because it's a way in which you have children who are light, children who radiate light, children who beam, children who have hope and dreams, and they have this future that we are planning and helping to push them towards. That's where we get that internal pride engaging there. And then community. You want to check in on these children, make sure that they are meeting their personal goals, and you want to make sure the committee has what they need to be successful, so they can be successful so that the children can be successful. Also, the Branch and Youth Council serves as a mechanism to promote the students and the work of ACSO at other association events not directly related to ACSO. So not just for Freedom Fund dinners can you have your ACSO students get up and provide a performance or do a showcase, but you might have a rally that's coming and you need someone to sing Lift Every Voice and Sing. But why not sing Lift Every Voice and Sing? Let's engage the ACSO students or the vocalists to sing Lift Every Voice and Sing, and then let's engage the instrumentalists to play Lift Every Voice and Sing. And while we have Lift Every Voice and Sing happening, maybe we'll sing while we're singing all of the verses. Let's get an ACSO painter to potentially do a live painting demonstration. And now we've created art, we've celebrated our history and our heritage, and we've kicked off our event. And then we're going back to get in the streets to make things right on behalf of all the people that we're serving. That's how you can begin looking at this program, beginning to lean in and really do some of the, to help amplify some of the other work unrelated directly to ACSO. Your local volunteers are the individuals who are invested in the success of the program, and most of all, the ACSO students. They are your committee members first. All the people who will be volunteering with you, you should consider them your committee members. As an ACSO chairperson, you have the capacity to appoint people to your committee. We recommend that they serve in these 4 different ways. Your 4 committees you can have within we recommend you have in your ACSO committee. Within your ACSO committee includes student recruitment, publicity and media, coach and judge recruitment, and finance and fundraising. We'll talk about those 4 different committees a little bit later. Your local mentors and coaches are your champion supporters of ACSO. They are unique volunteers that are able to help fill the gaps in your scheduling, in your content, and field trips, etc. One of the things that ACSO does, because we are a year-long program and we start at the top of the school year and we end in July, the students don't want to come together every single time they meet to work on their project. They may want to go bowling. They may want to take a field trip when as things continue to open up, and maybe go to a warehouse or a factory to watch how the robotics of a particular assembly line are working for the STEM students. Or you may have culinary students who want to go and visit a local restaurant because there's an amazing new African-American chef that's on hand, and they've taken Instagram by storm and TikTok by storm in your community, and they want to learn more and hear more and see more and potentially do more. That's what this program gives you the opportunity to do. You get a chance to have a blank canvas. You set forth some goals based on the program's pillars that we have, but then you get to color outside of the lines once you've marketed it to the students and you've engaged them and you've kicked off, and you can begin to color outside of the lines or color around the picture for the students to add the seasoning and add the sauce and add all the finishing touches on their schedule so that they have a chance to experience something that they never would have imagined because of ACSO. Local coaches and mentors are also champion supporters because they can help recruit their colleagues for the local and for the national competition. I talked about the judges committee and the volunteers earlier. We need judges for the local competition and for the national competition. Once a local mentor and coach has a positive experience, most likely they will share that with their colleagues, and those like-minded individuals will want to show up and begin to lean in and help amplify doing the work, amplify your work and help you to do the work. The local judges are a gateway to ACSO and ultimately the NAACP. Our judges are folks that we touch in our interactions specifically for the purpose of competition, to protect the integrity of the competition. Our judges, we want to keep them reserved so that when it comes time for competition, we have no conflicts of interest. And if there are, those have been identified and the proper measures have been taken to make sure that the integrity of the competition is protected. And these individuals are here to help determine the future of this child in this space. We believe that all of our children are capable of doing whatever they decide they put their minds to doing, and we will help them do that however we can and in every single positive way that we can do that. The judges, however, have a special job in helping to identify those that have risen to the top for their particular fields of study. And they do that for both the local competition and the national competition. One note, if you are, as you are thinking about setting up your committee for your unit or your youth council for the future, the judges that we do engage with, one rule that we have for our judges is that if an individual has judged for a local competition, they cannot judge for the national competition that same year. So keep that in mind as you're recruiting your judges. If you run across someone that says, I typically judge for nationals, but I'll do it for yours, just remind them that we don't want them crisscrossing pathways within the same year for judging. And to judge for an ACSO competition, all that we ask is the adult be either degreed or be a professional practitioner in the field in which they're going to study. So what does that mean? That means that we have people who have degrees in accounting, and they will come and potentially they may have a degree in accounting, but they also they might be a professional ballet dancer right now. And so although their degree is in accounting and they are professionally dancing in ballet, they can come and score the ballet competition. Or we have folks who have degrees in classical voice, but they are currently working as a professional chef. They have an additional credential and they run a restaurant in a known area, and they have the capacity to be able to meet the rubric of our culinary competition, and so they're scoring in the culinary world. Though we just have two requirements for being a judge for local and national competition. Breaking down the committees now, I gave you the 4 committees. Then here's what your committees can do. Your student recruitment committee, they are there to actively recruit the students through schools, churches, recreation centers, and other community outlets. That's how you grow your audience. That's how you get your audience. That's who you're going to want to market to first. Go to the schools. After the schools, knock on the doors of the churches. After the churches, you can go to the rec centers and other community groups like Big Brothers, Big Sisters, like Top Teens of America, like the Business Professionals of America, any kind of association or organization engaging high school youth of color. You want to be knocking on their doors and letting them know that you have opportunities for their children to expand their potential. You're helping them you're not taking students away, you're helping to expand their potential. And you want to partner with them and work with them to build that relationship. Once you recruited the students, you want to meet with them, engage them on a regular basis, meet with the principals, meet with the church pastor or the youth group leader, so that you can figure out ways that you can meet. Now that you've met with those leaders, you want to meet with these children, plan a kickoff event, plan what the schedule will look like. think about the year ahead for these students and also give them a chance to have input there. And then you'll schedule their enrichment activities. And we talked about those a few moments ago. The coach and judge recruitment committee are there to actively recruit judges and coaches through businesses, universities, foundations, museums, galleries, etc. I often tell people who are having difficulty locating judges and coaches, start with the businesses that you and your committee members, not just you, but your committee members, you and your committee members frequent. Have those conversations with them, and you'll begin to learn that that small business owner probably has experience and a network that touch on some of the other categories that we have. And then you can begin to expand the conversation to those individuals so that you can engage them for your local ACSO. That committee also reviews the credentials of the individuals. They review the resumes and the applications for your local judges. And then they conduct a training or an orientation to bring the judges up to speed on the practices of the ACSO competition, as well as review the scoring rubric for each one of those competitions, so the judges know what they're embarking upon and what they're looking for as they're scoring the students. The Publicity and Media Committee are there to create and implement a plan for advertising the local ACSO online. You all can set us, as you think about fundraising and you begin to set up your unit, think about how you can and how that individual can engage locally. The obvious answer, of course, online, we've got social media marketing. So you can take out ads on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter to market the program locally within your particular area within the state of Indiana. Or you can also lean into your local news outlets. A lot of local affiliates are always looking for content to promote on those, especially on those daily morning shows that come on and on the weekends, so that they can amplify great stories in the community. Those kinds of stories are easy to pitch and will help you, and it's free marketing to help you sell the program, not just to other families and students, but it also will help you when you go to market to sponsors and supporters, because now you have something that's a bit of an underscore to what you just shared with them verbally. They can now see that you are doing the work in your community. We have sample pitches in our ACSO how-to manual. So once you sign up, you'll have access to the how-to manual that gives you some sample letters to share with the community groups, the schools, as well as media outlets, so that you can see what it's like to even write a press release for a newspaper or a media advisory for a radio station. These individuals on the Publicity and Media Committee also create and distribute promotional ACSO materials, and they establish and maintain contact with local media outlets. So as you get near the local competition, you can promote that. And then the winners from your local competition should make an appearance after the story has been told of you promoting your local, hosting your local ACSO competition. And then the community has a chance to get behind your students and rally for them and show their love and support as they head to the national competition. The Finance and Fundraising Committee are there to create a budget that includes revenue for your local ACSO. They're there to share all financial needs and information with the executive committee, working very closely with the treasurer, who is the individual deemed responsible for financial reporting for your unit or your youth council. They should also plan and conduct fundraising events. What is a fundraising event for ACSO? It might be an ACSO showcase where you have an opportunity to host a fundraising dinner for the students that are going to the national competition. And in an effort to support these students to defray the cost of airfare, of ground transportation, of feeding them, maybe getting some shirts to represent for the state of your unit in Indiana. If it's to do something extra special for these students or something special for the students, or to even expand it so that the students who didn't win have a chance to go, why not host a fundraising dinner and have a showcase of the students that the ticket sales will go to help offset the cost for? Also, the committee is there to refer to the NAACP bookkeeping guide and best practices for all engagement and reporting purposes alongside the treasurer for your particular unit. ACSO also, FYI, is an opportunity to increase memberships. 100% of the ACSO participants are encouraged to be a member of the association. We cannot require our students to be a member legally. We can't require them to be a member of the association to engage with ACSO, but we love finding creative ways to help you market memberships and to get memberships for your unit or youth council through ACSO. When we're in person at the national competition, we have a membership window right alongside registration every single year, because that's how important we see membership. But we also, before we get on the ground at national competition, we want to know what you're doing on the ground to help promote memberships before we get to national, so that we can help you do that. How have units done that in the past? At Freedom Fund dinners, there might be an additional opportunity for a call to action for people to support ACSO students. That's an opportunity there to get memberships. Also, for some of those fundraising events, when we host those ACSO showcases, some units sell they sell ads for souvenir journals, and those students in their ad sales, a portion of their ad sales go to cover the cost of a youth membership to the association. There are ways that we can always get creative to be able to market and incorporate the cost of a youth membership into our work. And so let's not look at this as a chance to say these children are all here not getting memberships, but let's find the way to make them members and make them proud members of the association. And we all know sometimes that somebody's coming in with some souvenir money at the national competition. So we want the first souvenir and first call to action to be when they get to the hotel or to the convention centers to get that membership if they don't have it. We're online with ACSO. You can follow our hashtag #ACSO. We've got students that have engaged with ACSO. Our alumni network is up to over 300,000 individuals that have gone through the ACSO program. I told you earlier, you would have a chance to take a look at some of them and put them in the chat. I see a few people watching online and Facebook. So if you see any of these names, if you know any of these names, you can pop them on the screen, but these are all individuals who are alum of the ACSO program. Host of Red Table Talk and multi-image NAACP Image Award winner Jada Pinkett Smith is an ACSO alum out of Baltimore. She's on your screen on your far left. In the center is our, 7-time NAACP Image Award host, Anthony Anderson, an ACSO alum right there, accepting one of his Image Awards. I believe that was in 2018 when he accepted that Image Award there. And Anthony is our ACSO alum out of Compton, California. Out of New York City is Alicia Keys. Coming up on the screen are 3 additional ACSO alum that might look familiar to you. We've got on your screen accepting his NAACP Image Award is the late John Singleton. In the center of our screen, from Destiny's Child, looking at us as only she can while she's on stage with Beyonce and Kelly to her left and her right, or maybe they were all on her left and she was lonely on her right, holding down stage right, is Michelle Williams out of Chicago ACSO. And then we have from Chicago ACSO, Kanye West. Out of New York ACSO, giving you a chance to think about it, is Lauren Hill from New York. Back in Chicago is Jennifer Hudson. And from Houston, Texas, Justin Simeon. Justin Simeon is an executive producer and writer of the series Dear White People on Netflix, as well as the original film. Edwina Finley Dickerson is an actress from Washington, D.C., most recently on Tyler Perry's If Loving You Is Wrong. And she just wrapped a project, I believe, in the UK that is coming to a big screen near us soon. Edwina is an ACSO alum out of Washington, D.C. In the center of our screen, for all of you that love the TV show Scandal on ABC, is someone from my hometown, Detroit, Cornelius Smith Jr. Cornelius, although you know him as an actor on television, Cornelius competed in ACSO in our vocal contemporary competition, and he won the Gold Award. So Cornelius also is an amazing singer, and we also went to high school together. And then on Run the World on Stars, Baltimore's own Brescia Webb. You also might know her from the Tyler Perry movie, Not Temptation, but I forgot the one that came out with Felicia Rashad on Netflix. She was in that movie as well. She played the attorney for Felicia Rashad. Let's talk about the National ACSO experience. I'm going to talk about we kick off nationals every year with an opening kickoff. When we are in person, the opening kickoff is a pep rally. Thousands of young people are there on the ground talking about any and everything, but the excitement is at an all-time high because the best in show have now gathered together in wherever we're supposed to be. And they are there all for one goal. And it's not just to win, but their goal really is to build community. AXO really fosters a sense of community that you will see nowhere else. So much so that I love the fact that our students, when they come together, they're connecting with each other online prior to meeting each other, so that when they get there, they're actually putting the face and making that human connection there. And then once they graduate, they figured out what's happening next. And most of them have already connected at AXO, and now they're on campus together with a community, with family, with their cousin, if you will, having known them from AXO. We're all together for the full 4 days, from the opening kickoff to the award ceremony, where the students become the singers, the dancers, the actors, the musicians, the speakers through our awards ceremony. We just don't award the scholarships and medals to the students at the award ceremony. By the way, AXO is an opportunity for students ultimately to win scholarships and technology prizes to help support their future work as a scholar. And once the students are at the award ceremony, I promise you, we're not just hanging medals on them. We are celebrating them and also allowing you to see how they got to where they are on that stage for that weekend. Gina, I got to bring you back in for this so we can talk about your experience at nationals. You talked about having some wins, and on the virtual side of things, you saw AXO in Detroit. Tell us everything that you want to share with us about nationals.
In Detroit, it was awesome. It was awesome. Like you said, you go into this room and all of the students are there, and everybody, even though everybody is in their little groups and everything from, their areas, but they branch off and they come over to the Indiana side. We go over to the California side and everything. And these students, they intertwine with each other, and they're singing in the lobbies at the hotels with each other. They're just doing everything. They're just coming together, and they keep in contact with each other. So it's a family. It is a village. And it's awesome. It is awesome. It is, like you say, it's an all-time high. It is an all-time high celebration of our students, not just the students, but the chairpersons and the supporters. It's just everybody is there, and we are having a good time. Now, on a virtual level, it's just a little bit different because I've been the chairperson during the pandemic this year and last year. So we really wasn't able to do a lot last year because of the pandemic, but it was still exciting. During nationals, we were all sitting there waiting for the winners to be announced and everything. And I'm sitting in my bed, and I jump up when they say Naomi Martin, and I'm yelling and screaming and running through the house and everything. And I'm picking up my phone and I'm calling, and she's calling me, I'm calling her. And it was awesome. It was an awesome experience for me and as well as for her. And then everyone that was, that was there to support all of the students. We were very, very excited about that. And so with it being, like I said, with it being a pandemic, was just a little bit different. We couldn't really come together. I went to her house and we presented her, one of our vice presidents went to her house. We presented her with roses, and then I went and took pictures with her, and we taking pictures, and we elbow bumping and saying hi and all that kind of stuff, taking pictures and everything, just kind of keeping that social distance. So it was awesome. It was just an awesome feeling. This year I had students that also went to nationals I had 5 that went on one on the local level, but we didn't come back with the gold this year, but that's okay. They are all winners. They were awesome. So we got together this year. Since the pandemic kind of opened up a little bit, we did some things with our students this year. We went to the baseball field and celebrated them there, and we also had a luncheon with the mayor. So we did some things with them this year that was kind of exciting. So we got to keep it on the high level, though. We will. We keep it on a high level. And we are looking forward to welcoming everyone to Atlantic City, New Jersey in 2022 for the national competition in July.
More information on details and hotels and all the things for national competition are forthcoming. But I do want to admonish all of you, if you're still thinking about setting up your ACTO committee, there is time for you to sign up. We have a deadline of November 30th as like our first cutoff for our official roster. And then from there, we know that there's still some people, some units out there wandering in the wilderness. Come on out the wilderness and come into the light, so you come back on the path, and we can help get you to the right place, so that we can help you make that decision and really close the loop on bringing the ACTO committee to your unit or your youth council. Gina, thank you so much. We're going to take a sneak peek at the Detroit video at the end of the conversation, and we'll come back to you for some final thoughts in a few moments.
Okay.
All right, let's hop back into the conversation. Additionally, we have a component of our program that really focuses on intensified study for our students in ACTO. One of those that is officially a part of our program now is our Arts and Entertainment Intensive. The Arts and Entertainment Intensive is a chance for our students across all disciplines to find out how the work that they desire to do and they are currently doing through ACTO plays a role in Hollywood. On your screen there, you see students from left to right really dabble, who cover the gamut in STEM, in performing arts, in visual arts, in culinary arts, in business, and in the humanities. On the screen before you, we give our students a chance to see that everything plays a role in this particular industry, and we bring them to Hollywood for a week. And the trip culminates not just with them going to the NAACP Image Awards and attending the events of the Image Awards, but it gives them a chance to make a project. They work on group projects that they have that they can walk away with and use them as marketing tools when they go to apply for scholarships and for colleges. We're all about giving our students the competitive edge over their counterparts, so that when universities look at ACTO and they see that ACTO mark with the NAACP, they know that that is who they want to automatically give and say the yes to. On the left side of your screen, you see our inaugural class of the Arts and Entertainment Intensive. Those students graduated and went off to dance for Alvin Ailey and to go to NYU Tisch School of the Arts, Howard University, Columbia University, Northwestern University, as well as Full Sail University and SUNY Purchase. These students they look like they're in a time warp, but that's because they are on the set of Hairspray Live that was built for NBC. So they are on the back lot at NBC Universal Studios in Hollywood, California. Awesome. In the center of the screen, you see students that are gathered around an ACTO alum, Joel Steingold, who is currently, Joel is a cast member on the TV show The Chi, that's written and produced, executive produced by Lena Waithe. It's based in Chicago, and he is one of the lead cast members on the TV show The Chi. And Joel is actually providing some feedback on their group project so far. And in that photograph, you have students that are animators. You have a student that's a scientist, the young woman in the center. She's a scientist, and they were taking a scientific look at coloring and the effects of color on something, and they were making a short film to tell this story. They have a vocalist that's in the group and an instrument and a writer who was in the group. So that writer wrote the script. The vocalist sang the score and colored with her voice for the video. And then the young man with the hair pulled back in the bun was the cinematographer and director of the project. So it all works. It all comes together. And if you look just back in the corner, there's Cornelius again, came out of his house in Hollywood to come to the students and share some feedback on some things that they're working on. So our students not just have a chance to tour the studios and tour the backlots and learn and talk to the professionals, but we bring them in front of ACTO alum who are in the industry and doing that work, not just from one angle, but these are multi-hyphenated artists that are sharing with our students while they are there. And you can see the closeness, you can see the intimacy of the conversation that they're having. And this is all intentional work. Then you see the effects of production and how production can be expanded on the right side of the screen with the STEM angle. These are students who are at the YouTube studios in Los Angeles, and they got a chance to create a bit of a virtual reality environment, and they got to walk and play around in that environment. So you see one of the students moving in the virtual space he just created. And then our cinematographer friend is capturing the entire thing on one of his fancy gimbals, but he's recording on his iPhone. Amazing talent, amazing prowess, amazing skill, amazing opportunity for you to lean in. Before we hear final thoughts from Jean and I wrap up our conversation, I want you to see what happened when we were in Detroit for our national competition. I'm just stopping the share here so that we can bring it up and you'll be able to hear the sound in the video. Take a look at what we did in Detroit.
I got my city doing front flips. When every father mayor rapper jump ship. I guess that's why they call it where I stay. Clean up the streets so my daughter can have somewhere to play. I'm the blueprint to a real man. Somebody toss they tassel for a deal, man. I ain't going to hell or the hill, man. For my real fans. I got caught up with a little Zan. Can't stop me, but it's slow me though. Yeah, famous, you don't know me though. But their DJ still play me though. Them I don't even need the radio. Coming down like a rodeo. Got the old folks dancing the dope. So they round time me the OVO. Ooh, I just might share my next one with Keith. Got the industry and disbelief. They be asking for a beat. This what it sound like when God split an atom with me. I even had Steve giving out apples for free. They was talking woo, this was what the band. City so great, I feel like Alexander. Way on halo like a hat, that's like the latest fashion. I got angels all around me, they keep me surrounded. Who is doing, who is them? All of a sudden, who up the damn? You can't touch me, no, I got angels. I got angels.
ACSO is a national competition where students of color compete in multiple categories, ranging from art and science to dance and entrepreneurship. Founded by the NAACP, ACSO engages thousands of high school students across the nation yearly. In 2019, the national competition was held in Detroit, Michigan, with the motto of Create, Pursue, and Thrive. ACSO. If you believe, you can then ACSO.
PCI 1075 going live, going 92, angel going choo. They was talking woo, this is what the band. City so great, I feel like Alexander. Way on halo like a hat, that's like the latest fashion. I got angels all around me, they keep me surrounded.
I believe that the impact that ACSO has made is that the students have been able to have a sense of community and belonging and able to know people that they wouldn't have beforehand. And I feel like it has gained people out of their shell, people who have been very introverted. We've had students this year that wouldn't necessarily be outgoing than before they came here.
ACSO gives me the freedom to create in a way I haven't done before, so they allow me, in my words, to have more power.
Say there's a difference between teaching and telling, and what I want to do is to teach people who are older than me and people who are younger than me and the generation yet to come. I promise to teach you the story and personalize it so you know what I know and you understand what I understand.
So ACSO is a program that is set in a foundation of making sure that our Black youth, our minority youth are celebrated in their talents, empowered, and brought into and being able to put on display at a national level.
The ability to express themselves, to work the skills that they have or learn new skills and showcase them is a great impact to the students. It gives them confidence, it lets them know that they can believe in themselves, and as we always tell our students, be your best self.
I've never been around a lot of people the same color as me doing great things. So you don't find that where I live. I live in a neighborhood that's mostly white dominant, and things like this, blacks coming out and doing what they love, it's not there. And what I just did in there, competing against other great African Americans like myself, it felt amazing.
As competitors of AXO, this is an exciting time to start embracing your freedom. You clearly have the courage to pursue and promise to thrive.
These past 6 years have proven to be successful and have measurable, impactful results for all of our students, creating opportunities for AXO that did not previously exist.
We support AXO's mission to prepare, recognize, and reward youth of African descent who exemplifies scholastic and artistic excellence.
God created you with talent, intellect, so that you would have the ability to pursue your dreams, and that you would not only survive, but you would actually thrive. And so, please give yourself a hand.
I'm never now. I'm talking to the future. Let me show you how. While you playing catch up, listen. I'm drawing up my next move, reminiscing about the times you said he or she couldn't. If you knew you was talking to Miles, man, I wouldn't. But it's okay, you didn't know better.
Our vision is bold, but it can be achieved through the power of diverse thinking.
To your freedom to create, courage to pursue, and promise to thrive. And now to the winners.
You gonna tear it up? You gonna tear it up?
And then we walked away from Detroit, and COVID happened. So we were virtual for the other 2 years, but that's what it looks like in person. Gina, do you remember any of that?
Oh, I remember all of that. And I still go back and watch the video when they're doing the opening ceremony, when they're dancing and everything. We had students that were on the stage dancing and singing. So it was awesome. It was really awesome.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Before we hear final thoughts from you, President Bowling Williams, are you here? Are you standing by? Oh, you came on. I think she's here. Yes,
I'm truly here.
Yes, she is. She's here. Before we wrap, any thoughts, anything you want to share or say? And thank you, of course, for the invitation, for having me here today, hanging out in the state of Indiana. Wish I was there with y'all so I can hug and be with you.
But you have been with us before in the past, and so you'll be with us again.
Yes. I
truly want to thank both you and Gina for preparing this webinar. It was amazing. I learned some things. I've been, an AXO cheerleader for years, and I'm always excited about how it is always reinventing itself. And I think back to the time when there really was a little schism between AXO and the Youth Council. because it seems like from the youth council perspective that they were the ones that were holding it down with respect to civil rights, and Axel was the little prima donnas, and they got all the notoriety. But we're bridging that schism. It's always kind of like the house in the field, but we're bridging that. We want to let them know that all our children are valuable, and they can participate in both. They can choose. They have choices. They can choose to be one, choose to be the other, or choose to be both. And that is the important thing, because we want them to be both. There are enough categories, as you have seen, that you can't tell me a child can't find something that interests them. I just can't believe that. And you're ever increasing the categories, and you're diversifying them, so that where before it used to be just dance, contemporary dance, classical, you have a myriad of probably about 7 or 8 categories of 4 categories of dance. So you're responding to the nuances that are our children and the categories. So I thank you, Larry, and I just marvel with Gina and her enthusiasm. It's like, ooh, that's my mini me. because she caught it. She caught that fire. It's burning deeply within her. It's not going away. This is a lifetime thing. And I thought about it when we talk about with pandemic being in the back of our mind. I look at that and say, you know what? We were infected at the moment we came into contact with Axel, and we're not looking for a cure. We are not looking for a cure. We want to just spread that disease on and on and on. So I thank you both for your participation, for being here, for sharing the information, and that's all I can say is thank you.
All right, Gina. Anything from you?
Well, I would like to just do a shout out to my co-chair, Kalana Mack, in her absence, and just thank Mr. Mays, President Mays, for thinking, I think you could do this, Gina. I need you to do this, and just thought about me, and it's just been a blessing the whole time. It really has. And Larry, I would like you to talk about the scholarship with L'Oreal. Is it L'Oreal?
Yes. So
please talk about that.
Yes, thank you so much. So I'm going to put the information on the screen so you can connect with us as I share this information. But we are partnered with L'Oreal and with Lancome, and within Lancome, with Lancome, we are part of the Write Her Future campaign, which gives 30 young women who are graduating, 30 high school seniors, the opportunity to win one of 30 $10,000 college scholarships on top of their AXO winnings. But the young woman must be a part of an AXO unit. So Indiana, what are you waiting on? Log on to the internet right now, get the information, grab a screenshot right now, 410-580-5650. Call us on Monday, email us today so that we can get some information out to you on Monday so that you can sign up for your AXO committee and get your competitions stood up for next year, so that not only you can participate in our national competition, but you can be a part of the Arts Entertainment Intensive, and one of your young women can win one of these $10,000 scholarships, 30 $10,000 scholarships that we have. Again, I'm Larry Brown Jr.
That is
awesome. It's so awesome. I'm Larry. I'm the national director. Love serving and being with you. Thank you again, Miss Barbara, for the invitation, and for Miss Gina for hanging out and holding it down, representing for the AXO chairs in your state. You are the rock star. I appreciate you. Thank you all so very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.